Hello, and welcome to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom with your hosts, Heather and Rachel.
Together, we're here to talk about all things self-care, from fitness to mindfulness and everything in between.
Whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, or practices like tapping and meditation, we're here to help you discover new ways to care for yourself.
We'll also share tips on positive self-talk, finding time for self-care, and creating routines that stick.
We're here to provide you with plenty of tips, tricks, and unsolicited life advice.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Join our community, and together we can explore the path to wellness. All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. So today we are going to be talking about tiny joys, big shifts. Now, this is a blog that Heather wrote and has up on See Life as a Muse, and I just thought, I read this, I really loved it. It's really resonated, and I think what I love best about this is you really have a practical approach. Like, you talk about your own personal journey, what happened with you, and then but there's also a lot of great advice and tips on how other people can take this and incorporate it into their lives, and simple ways of finding just tiny joys and letting those tiny joys be important and kind of be not so small, right? It kind of changes your life. It can help change your perspective. It really can create big shifts when you focus on the stuff that makes you happy.
Right.
And it's just, I feel like I was trying to remember, I think it's if you think that, just think the thoughts that make you feel happy. So if you get a thought and it starts to make you feel like angry or upset or whatever, you just switch to the thoughts that make you feel happy. And that's not always the easiest thing to do, right? So,
No.
um,
Yeah.
So we're going to talk
it's not a
about
light
your
switch.
experience. No, it's not. But, it can be, I think, once you start to master how to do it and you see those moments.
And I
So
think it's a practice, just like everything else we talk about.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It's just getting into the practice of making that happen. So
Right.
I'm going to talk a little bit about, your journey and what you did. And so in your blog, you say you started See Life as a Muse as an art platform. So take us back and just kind of like let us know what that looked like and what some of the shifts were that you made.
Yeah. So See Life as a Muse was a multimedia platform. It was to teach people to step outside of your norms of art and creativity. My viewpoint is that everybody is an artist, no matter what you're doing, you're an artist. And I think we've touched on that in a couple of different episodes. But the reality is, we all have an art skill. And so when I created See Life as a Muse, it was a forum for people to be inspired to step outside the box of what your traditional art was, of what the people were telling you that you couldn't do in art, right?
Okay.
And it was also to help people to look at themselves as an artist, no matter what you were doing. So over time, it evolved into holistic wellness because I evolved into holistic wellness, right? And so it, became this holistic wellness space. It became a yoga space. It became a storytelling space. And then it became what I call now a truth-telling space, right?
Okay.
And so right now it is, just this space for you can learn for free, you can pay to learn, you can do whatever you want on See Life as a Muse. I don't really sell anything anymore. It's not like my thing. It is
Mm-hmm.
just a holistic space. And it is just to share. That's it. And it made things simple and beautiful and easy. And so you can share and still see life as a muse.
Okay. So I'm just that probably answered like the next question I had. It was just basically that you wrote that your mind and your priorities shifted,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how
And
did
so,
that kind of like, I think you kind of touched on like, and maybe even completely explain like how that
yeah,
kind of
I was
started the change.
carrying a bunch of responsibilities. And, when you run your own business, you can't always run your own business without doing other things to work the bit. Like when you run your own business, you're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so I have a big family and take care of a lot of people in the family. And I reached a point where it was just all so much,
Hmm.
right? It was all so much what's going on in the world, what's going on in my life, what was going on at my actual job. It was just all so much. It was just very heavy. And it was just like, I felt like I was struggling to find moments to calm down or slow down. And there was moments that I should have found joy and I wasn't.
Yeah, I think
And
we can all relate to that.
it's not that the joy wasn't there. It's just that I was so caught up in everything else that I couldn't recognize.
Hmm. Yeah,
Right?
no. It's easy to see that, I think, in hindsight for most of
Oh
us.
yeah.
I was actually, it's so funny because even before I kind of read through this again, I was thinking about that. I'm like, I get so stuck in what I don't want to happen, all the
Mhm.
dangers, the possibilities of things that could go wrong,
Right.
that a lot of times I'll miss what's going right. I'll miss that moment of
Yeah.
peace and calm where there is nothing happening because I'm looking for monsters behind trees, you know? And it does. It kind of can rob you
Yeah.
of that peace.
Totally. Absolutely.
We're gonna go right into it. So the phrase like tiny joys, big shifts, right? That's super powerful. What does it mean to you personally? Like,
Yeah. So to me, it means that the smallest moments can completely change how we move through the world, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, a bird singing, my grandchildren laughing, my kids laughing. I'm sure you
mm-hmm.
deal with that with your daughters. Like when you
Yeah,
hear them together laughing, it just softens everything, right?
it really does. Yeah.
And so, simple things, sunlight on your skin, cool air, crisp air, just things around you. And it's really nice to be present in those moments so you can soften some moments and you can remember that we're alive, like we're here and we're living this life, whether it's heavy or not, we're living it. And
Mm-hmm,
so those little joys they don't fix everything, right? That's not reality. But they do shift our perspective and they bring us back to present and we're using our senses, we're listening, we're touching, we're smelling, all the things that are just amazing. So it helps us carry the heaviness, right? And it helps us carry that heaviness into resilience.
I guess so. Yeah. It can also, I think, sometimes really lighten the load. Like when you
Hmm.
look at that stuff and you kind of realize that that's what's important. Like that's
Right.
what you're here for. Like these are the things that make it, it sometimes lightens all the other crap that's like
Yeah.
floating around, outside that you have to deal with and fix. And, I know a lot of times when I stop and I slow down and I see that the things that I thought were so big and heavy really
Hmm.
weren't. They were easy to deal with when I came at them
Yeah.
from a different perspective. Like if I'm like when I'm lighter, those things are lighter. They're
Right.
easier to
Absolutely.
move through. They're
Yeah.
easier to take care of. And, it's, I think for a lot of us is just getting to that place more often. We kind of
Absolutely.
forget like what got us there, like what brought us back to that. So sometimes like just focusing on those tiny joys is the key to coming
Mhm.
back to that lighter side.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
What you talk about at some point is that the amygdala is, in the brain, like what starts sending out the
Yeah.
danger signals, right? So it
So,
gets,
yeah. So the amygdala, we've talked about the amygdala before. We talk about fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right?
hmm
And what winds up happening is that part of your brain scans for danger.
hmm
And it's
like
always,
those monsters behind the trees that I keep
yes,
looking for.
yes. Don't leave the cave because the saber-toothed tiger's out there.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, so poignant right now in life. Uh, but it it it's always on alert, right? It's to keep us
hmm
safe. We love that. Which is a survival technique. And so the reality is when we are constantly in that, right?
That survival mode.
Yeah, it is hard to see those joys. But if we can shift just for a moment to listen to the bird or feel the breeze or like in the shower, enjoy hot water or whatever, then your brain starts to realize, hey, I'm safe and I don't have to be heightened alert all the time.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't shut off the alarm or the alert system, but it shuts off the alarm, right? So the alert system's still there, but the alarm is not sounding all the time.
Right.
When we notice small joys, right? Flowers, birds, things in nature, the uh,
Amygdala.
amygdala signal still. It doesn't stop. It just kind of quiets down for a little bit. And it just tells you you're safe at this moment. You can breathe. And it helps calm the nervous system. It helps restore balance.
All right, so you brought up again. You give examples like that first sip of tea, right? A child's laugh, your
Hmm.
dog sleeping, right? So these are all the like micro moments
Yeah,
that you can
totally.
use to ground yourself. So with that, I'm like, all right, so for someone who's new to this, right?
Hmm.
Um, what's one simple way to start paying attention? Like, how do we start? Like, how
Pause.
do we start,
We pause.
Right.
We first pause. We are a hustle culture. I just did a whole series, as you know, from hustle to holistic. We are a
Yes,
hustle culture. And
absolutely.
we believe that our productivity is what creates our value, our worth. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. You're worthy regardless. But so you pause, you ask yourself, what's one thing I hear? What's one thing I feel? What's one thing I see? And then enjoy the beauty in that. I know I went this off topic, but on topic. Went to the farm to pick fruits and vegetables the other day, and the lady that's with me at the farm, she is very like on task. She's
Uh-huh.
very on task. She lives there. She doesn't see the things I see. She lives there. So things there are new to me, but they're not new to her. They're everyday
Right.
things, right? And like I was like, oh, look at the bumblebee working so hard. Look at him. He's covered in pollen. Look at him. And she's like, it's a bumblebee. Let's go. Like, come on, get it going. And then I'm like, oh, look at the pattern in this leaf. This leaf is beautiful. Can I pick this leaf? She's like, pick the leaf. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like sister, you know. And so when you pause and you take time to just appreciate all the little things, the textures of a blanket. I mean, my granddaughter is a textile gal, and she is just, when she puts on a cozy sweater,
Hmm.
that child just turns into butter,
Yeah.
butter. And so I think like we can learn a lot from that. Like we can learn a lot from just using our senses and pausing and just appreciating different things that are around us all the time that we just
Yeah,
don't.
like those little comforts, like just clean sheets on your bed and like
Yeah,
just sliding in there and feeling how
right.
good that feels, or like a warm towel when you get out of the shower.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that's always the nicest. Like, or you put on, it's a cool day and you get dressed like right, the clothes right out of the dryer. These are
Hmm.
all these like wonderful feelings that
Yeah.
we take for granted like quite a bit. And I notice too, like lately. I've just anytime there's a nice, especially because it's warmer out, like
Hmm.
every time there's a nice, soft, cool breeze, like just how wonderful that feels,
Hmm.
especially when like the sun is like shining on your face.
Yeah.
And those are moments I like to take to pause because that's just one of the things that feels so good to me.
Yeah.
And I love like just stopping, taking that moment, like taking that breath there.
Hmm. Pausing and taking a breath is just so helpful.
Hmm.
It's just like, honestly, like start there. With any practice that you're doing, start there.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I myself, anytime like I go over this and I have a few things like up on, my YouTube and a few exercises, and I've got a couple like adult school courses coming up for
Hmm.
like mindfulness. And it really just starts with like, we're gonna take 5 minutes. Just
Hmm.
you can find 5 minutes. Like stop. And
Hmm.
even if you just stop, breathe and close your eyes.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, notice what you feel. Like you've been sitting in the chair for 10 minutes. Like, is your butt falling asleep? Like, where are
Yeah.
your feet? Are they hitting the floor?
Yeah.
When's the last time you got up to pee? Do you need to do that? Maybe you
Yeah.
need a drink of water. Are you thirsty? Like, and it's amazing when you start asking yourself these questions. You're like, oh crap, I've been sitting in this spot for 3 hours. I
Hmm.
haven't eaten anything, had anything to drink, gone to the bathroom. I haven't even talked to any.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, starting with the pause is the best way to start. And it's simple.
Absolutely. Yeah, it
The
is.
breath.
I agree. Like and it's funny, like the in that silence, I think your brain's going to start generating questions anyway.
Hmm.
It's nice when you can like stop, pause, and actually listen to yourself.
Yeah. You're breathing anyway. You might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah, right. I think that's a good that's definitely a good point. All right, so you lay out a morning, a midday, and an evening practice. So you guys should really go check out this blog post because there's a lot of really great tips. If you are looking to start a very simple like mindfulness practice and find those small joys, check it out. There's definitely a lot of good tips in here to follow. So
Yeah.
what's the importance of finding a rhythm and like kind of
Yeah.
creating a routine and practicing these things every day? What's the
Yeah.
importance in that?
Rhythm matters because our nervous system responds to consistency, right? So if we're doing the same things and putting our body into stress, that's
Hmm.
consistent. If
Yes.
you're finding joy and you're doing it constantly, that's consistent. So morning anchoring ourselves like anchors us, right? We wake up, we anchor ourselves in the morning. Midday, we reset. Okay. And then at the evening, we integrate gratitude.
Mhm.
And so in these are quick and easy practices. They're not like these like, oh, you got to have an hour to put aside or any, it literally is just a couple of breaths here and there. When we repeat these tiny practices, they become second nature. They become muscle memory.
Yeah.
And then it trains your brain to notice good things without forcing it to. So your brain now has that muscle memory of seeing the bumblebee and
Right.
really checking it out and seeing all the nectar on the bumblebee's body and, things like that. And so it's really cool because that rhythm, it picks up momentum.
Okay, so it's kind of like when I'm driving, right? I'm driving to work and I've been driving to the same place for so many years that I could literally not pay attention to anything I'm doing and still
Hmm.
end up at work.
Right.
So the more we practice and the more we do these things, the more inclined we are to just kind of do them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're going to find more joyful moments because we're used to finding joyful moments and, not
Yeah.
looking for monsters behind
We,
trees.
you know, we play a game with the girls in the car, right? We drive to school every day, same way, same whatever. And they have to pick out something that we pick a color and you have to pick up
Hmm.
pick up something that color, right? Or, slug bug, the slug bug game. Or
Hmm.
it just brings you into awareness of where you're going. So you're not on this autopilot of,
Right.
mundane everydayness,
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely. Like when I do the same things over and over again, I miss details
Hmm.
like crazy. And
Yeah.
it's so weird how, like, when you start to, you pay attention, there's all these things there that you just never noticed.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so you kind of acknowledge the heavy days, right? When even small joys feel out of reach, right? So
Hmm.
what do you do to meet yourself like in those moments? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
So, not saying that the heavy days are not hard, right? But on those days, I let it be like simple. I let it
Mm-hmm.
be as simple as possible. I don't force myself to, list a bunch of joys or feel better or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Instead, I just put my head and my heart together. Like I just kind of like combined my thoughts with my heart and I noticed my breath. And sometimes I put my hands on my heart, one hand on the belly, and just kind of like just take a deep breath in and just feel how that all feels in my body. And then, those inhales and exhales really do change things. A nice, good inhale, a nice, good exhale kind of
Mm-hmm.
like just releases some stuff, kind of get you unstuck. Um, but it's just acknowledging that we're still in this moment, we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one thing that we need to realize is nothing lasts forever. Nothing good, nothing bad,
Right.
nothing lasts forever. Nothing is
This too
nothing
shall pass.
right. And so we said that in another episode not too long ago, but it's about meeting yourself where you are gently with compassion, no pressure, and know that some days are going to be hard. And that's just the way it's going to be,
Yeah.
right? But continue to notice things around you. Continue to one thing that I didn't put in the blog that I do like to do when I'm not feeling so fantastic is I like to people watch
Mm-hmm.
and I like to compliment people.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like if I'm at, at work or whatever, I'll compliment somebody in the class, like if they have really cool pants on, because we have really funky yoga pants sometimes, and,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Or notice other people's breath in the classroom you know, and I'll be like, I noticed how you were breathing. Like you really like settled into that breath. That was really good, you know, and that kind of snaps me back to complimenting other people on how they're doing, how they're
Yes.
showing up.
I think that's always a really big one for me as well when just kind of take the focus off of myself
Mhm.
for a
Yeah,
moment and start to notice, other people, what's going on, like what's happening, and kind of get out of my own head. Everything does seem, it tends to lighten a
yeah,
little bit. And I think the more you look to kind of get out of your own way,
yeah,
the easier it is to kind of just make that shift.
yeah. And it's nice to see other people smile, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
nice to see them find joy and sometimes they're having a really hard time too and it's like, oh, thanks. Like it really
Yeah, it
brings
does. It,
them
it
back.
helps exactly. It helps all around. So like you're
Hmm.
helping yourself out, you're helping other people out, and it's contagious.
Yes, totally.
I feel like many people, me especially, we just had a little conversation about the people need to fix everything, right? You just want to
Yes,
fix it. Like once I get this, right, then everything will be fine.
yeah,
Once I complete this and this is right, then that's when life starts,
yeah,
right? Once
totally.
I finish whatever, then everything will be great. But it's just I don't know. The pressure of all of that is just so much sometimes. So
Mhm. Yeah,
I think it's hard to pull ourselves away to like from that and to like, to find that time to pause and notice. Like it's just that hamster wheel, right? We just like
yeah,
just keep running, just keep running.
yeah. And I think that we all have uh an expectation to produce. We
Hmm.
we just do.
Absolutely.
We were born and raised in hustle culture. Every single one of us, there's not a one of us that hasn't been born and raised in that culture. But the reality is that culture, we're the ones that keep it going,
Yeah.
right? And so, I had to learn. I had to learn that I can't fix everything. And then I also had to learn on attachment that it's not my job to fix everything.
Well, yeah, I think I think a lot of us struggle with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to come to terms with that myself, and I'm like, I see it. It
Hmm.
makes sense. But it's still kind of attached. Like,
Right.
it's got a hold somewhere, and it's like, all right, no, we
Right.
need to move away from this.
And honestly, moms, dads, parents, right? We want to slap on the cape, swoop in,
Yeah.
fix fix everything for our
Save the
kids. Yes,
day.
fix everything for our kids, and then we get into that with everybody. We just want to, we're just helping. We're helping. We're just helping. I'm here to help. I'm helping. And honestly, um, if if you I think of things so differently, and I'm so sorry that
Hmm.
I might take us somewhere. But the reality is, when you constantly are swooping in to fix everything, you're telling the other people that I don't trust that you can fix it yourself,
Right.
right? And that's a hard lesson to learn as a parent. It's a hard
Yes.
lesson to learn because I believe that I did a good job and I raised them to be self-sufficient and awesome, and they
Right. So yeah,
are.
right. And you need to just
Um,
let them be.
right. Yet I am like, I will fix it, you know?
Well, I do that
Uh,
at work sometimes, and like no one, people didn't even ask me. I just see something. I'm like, I go to fix
yeah,
something, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna piss people off because no one asked me to do this. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure they probably don't even want me to do this. Why
yeah.
am I trying to
Why
fix
are
this?
why
Like,
are you here? Go
uh,
away.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, wait, no, this is wrong. I should definitely not be doing. But I'm like, because
Yeah,
you just fall into that. I'm like, oh, it's another
yeah,
thing that needs to be done, so I'll
right.
just do it. And I'm like, no, no, no one asked me to do this.
Absolutely.
They don't need
And
my help.
and so but I mean when you look at it, you're if don't you don't have to own everything. It's not yours to own,
Hmm.
and you don't have to fix everything. And when you come to grips with that and allow other people to, for lack of a better term, fix their own shit.
Yes.
Um, when you allow others to do that, right? Um, it helps them not be suppressed, but
Hmm.
supported, right?
Okay.
And then it also helps you not be overwhelmed and exhausted that
Right.
you feel like you have to slap on the cape and save the world, right? And it was a hard lesson for me to learn. And granted, do I revert? Oh yes, I
Oh, yeah.
totally
It's
like
just,
I see my kids or grandkids struggling and I'm like, I got you. And I'm like, ooh, step back, chill
yeah.
out. Um, so it means that you're tending to yourself, right? You tend to your own self. So we have the capacity to face other things. And we pause, pausing to notice what's going on instead of reacting. We're
Yeah.
responding, right? Um, and then you don't have to take responsibility for everything. Everything is not yours, you know. And though we want to wrap our arms around the world and fix the world, and whether the world is your house, whether the world's your
Right.
work, whether the world's technically the world, it is not. We have to allow others to do what they need to do to rise up and do
Okay.
the right thing. But we could be a supporting role. I can be a supporting role. I'm all about that. But I don't have to be the main character.
Okay. That's definitely very helpful. I think we all forget that sometimes, right? We just
Yeah.
get, I think too, the more you're hustling, the more you're like striving to get stuff done, the harder it is to step away from that and to take that pause, right? Because you lose the
Yeah.
momentum. But sometimes that's what you need more than anything else is to lose that momentum and
Oh
to
yeah.
just like find those breaks and, to just a really great practice for me is I like to sit back like at the end of the day sometimes and go, okay, where do I have time, to take these breaks? Like I need to get this, this, and this done. And, sometimes you have to take a break before that, but I think looking for those spots in the day, you get your brain kind of set to noticing like where you can take those pauses and it starts to get easier and easier. So you can kind of go with your momentum when you're feeling it, get your stuff
Mhm.
done and then you're like, okay, well, you know what? Like this is how I reward myself.
Right.
I reward myself with this pause. I can just stop and take a breath. I can close my eyes for a couple minutes and
Right.
just let everything kind of fade away for a sec.
Hmm. Yeah.
I can get up and just get a drink of, like it doesn't have to be any big extravagant thing. It can
Nope.
literally just be sitting there and noticing if you're holding on to any tension in your body, if you need a snack. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
sometimes it's those simplest things that are really letting you be super kind to yourself.
Yeah. Tiny joys.
Right, it is. And it's like, I mean, how awesome is it when you've like just done a bunch of stuff and you need a break and you just, sit down and you have that snack, whatever it
Hmm.
may be, and it's just what you needed, right?
Right.
Your
Absolutely.
energy gets picks back up. It tastes really good. You
Yeah.
got up, you walked around, maybe you said hi to a few people. It does. It shifts everything, right? So like
Absolutely.
it and you come back and you sit down and you're like kind of refreshed and renewed
Yeah.
and like ready to start something new.
Yeah. Totally.
A candy bar or a granola bar isn't always going to do all of those things, but it's pretty amazing. Like if you stop and
I,
notice like how often it really does.
it's amazing how you don't realize sometimes when you're caught up in stuff, don't realize that you're hungry and you
Yeah.
eat something and you're just like, this is
Like it's
like,
like the whole day is just like changed. Like everything's just wonderful. You're like, "Oh my God."
that's where they get hangry from. You get
Yes, no,
hangry.
seriously. Like I'm like, "Oh my God, you're not yourself when you're hungry." Like and there's that
Yeah.
Snickers commercial. But it does.
Totally.
It like sometimes makes the biggest difference. Like you
Hmm.
stop, you have a drink of water, you have a snack, and like suddenly you're like a whole new person.
Yeah.
Like,
Me and my husband, we're doing a lot of stuff in our yard and stuff. And there are times where we're out there just hustling and I'll look at him and I'll be like, have you had water? I haven't had water. Have you had water? And we drink, like, we'll go get some water and we're sitting out on the back patio drinking the water. And we're like, this is like the best
like
water
this is the best
ever.
water ever. Oh my
It's
God,
the same
water's
water we
amazing.
always drink, but
Exactly. But
in
it's
this
like
moment,
there's that
best water.
gratitude. Like, and it's just there
Yeah.
you are. Like there's that tiny joy. You're just like, oh my God. Like
Yeah.
water's amazing. Thank God I have water because what would I do?
Yeah.
I'd
This
just be
is,
thirsty forever. Like this
well,
is the
not
best,
probably not forever, but
but you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to make a point here. I'm being dramatic.
well, I was being dramatic too because it wouldn't last forever. It would wind up ending.
Well, I
If
get,
you don't have
yeah,
water, it's not gonna work
you're
out well.
dead. Okay, I get it.
It's not working out well.
Yeah. Point.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not. No, I'm just point well taken. I get it. I get it. I get it. All right. So if someone's listening, like takes away one thing from your message from this, like what's the giant takeaway here? Like what
Yeah.
are we looking at?
So the giant takeaway is that you don't have to fix everything or carry it all, right? There are people around you to share that weight, whether they realize it or not. But you can let beauty in. Like you can see, that's why my company is called See Life as a Muse, because the reality is when you look around, you can find inspiration everywhere. And so every tiny joy, every tiny moment that you can actually give yourself a really good inhale and exhale, laughter, find a moment to laugh, a moment to just light up and do something, like recognize something that's out
Hmm.
of your normal perspective, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
It creates the shift. It creates something new in your pathways, right? We talk about our brain pathways. And those shifts over time add up to resilience. It creates this resilient path for you. It creates hope. It creates wholeness, which is awesome. So tiny joys really do lead to big shifts. And
Absolutely.
and know that it
Especially
takes time. It's a practice.
yes, exactly. I was going to say, especially when you practice like every day, like those
Hmm.
tiny little things each day really add up.
Yeah,
And over time, it's amazing the changes that you can see. I mean, I've done it myself. I mean, I know you have too. Like there are practices that, and it's almost like we're different people than we were years ago, right?
oh,
Because
totally.
of we're not doing the same things, we're not acting the same ways, we're not reacting as much as we are responding. And
Yeah.
it that makes I feel like it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's fun when you pause enough and notice that in yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Or
really, really cool feeling.
yeah, and it's really cool to notice it in people that you're on a journey with too,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
And
kind of cool to
so,
see that, to watch that transformation,
yeah.
to see like, to watch that realization happen, to see someone just kind of like light up or lighten up a little
Hmm.
bit.
Yeah. So,
All right, so I definitely suggest like checking out the blog because
yeah.
there are some really great pointers. There's some good like everyday tips and little practices to follow. And if you're looking for like a really simple place to start, this is a really great place to do that. So just remember to breathe, find a reason to smile,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
if nothing else, if like your day is heavy, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just be.
Yeah. So, until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Friendship, Wellness, and Wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on social media for more updates. See you next time.